of Andy Gonzalez, Curvin Ocasio, and Kareem Dawson to this team. Maybe you can give us a little bit of a preview of that, Coach Crudden, as far as those three particular players. I know there's a team here that gets this team off to the 7-game winning streak and the like, but the particular players that Mike's going to focus on today, what is it that they do that has made this that special a year and a team for Windham High football?
Well, Curvin's just handed me some money to say a few good things about him.
You just passed a dollar bill to the coach.
You better come up with something more than single digits. Let's start at the quarterback position. Andy Gonzalez is a very intelligent athlete. I mean, we do, or not myself, but Coach Switch calls some rather intricate, complex offensive plays. And a lot of times, hey, Andy's got him down before he knows what we're thinking, and he can, get the title out a little quicker than us. Just to give you an example of Coach Switch's, and we gave him an award at a brunch we had Sunday, and he received the award for one of his plays. It would be called right loose mix flank, back two swap, counter crisscross pitch pass, okay, and and I might call a play that's like 923 guard trap. That's the difference between Coach Switch and I. But Andy,
just to clarify, you mean in the huddle? That's what the guys are. That's what Andy's calling. Is that what it is?
Well, I prefer the 923 guard trap. It sounds pretty simple to me. Yeah. Okay, no, I'm just busting on Coach Switch. He calls some, but he does call some rather intricate, complex plays, and Andy does a great job of handling the assignment. He knows where everyone should be. I mean, even once we were without a fullback, and Curvin was running around, where do I go? And with his willingness and Andy's intelligence, he was able to put Curvin hand that 20 over Curvin at the fullback spot, and Kareem scored a touchdown. So between the three of them, that might be a great example of Andy being able to tell people where to go, Curvin's willingness, and then Kareem, behind fine blocking, was able to score a touchdown, I think. But Andy's intelligent, and he's very athletic. Of late, he has become an exceptional runner in our offense, which is great when you have a quarterback who can run and throw in the wing T offense.
Who's also a homecoming king, too.
Oh, I would have voted for James Oliver, the runner-up, offensive guard, inside linebacker. How can you not like someone like that,
Yeah, James, did that cause any friction between the two guys? Because your quarterback beat you out for the homecoming king honor.
No, that's understandable. The quarterback always gets everything.
He's the hometown stud.
Yeah. Sean, we didn't get you in the last segment there, but what was the feeling on the team with these two guys up for homecoming king? Did the team have a say in this? Did the team vote, or how does that work?
Well, it was a great division. We couldn't decide. We were going to get them both flowers, but, we didn't have any money. So
I think that would look very nice. Well, actually, it looks like Curvin's got the money here today. He's flashing it around to the coach, right?
He better.
You mentioned the assistant coaches. You mentioned Coach Switch. You might as well, not leave anybody out here, Brian.
Let me just finish with these two guys.
All right,
go ahead. Talked a little bit about Andy. Curvin, he's the word that comes to my mind is fearlessness. Right, Curvin? Right. Okay. No, he is kind of a fearless player. He's not too many things shake or rattle this guy, and he plays really hard. Defensive back-wise, he's probably our best overall defensive back against the run and the pass, and he's probably the best possession receiver we've had. He doesn't have the blazing speed that I have, but he is a good possession receiver, and he's done a good job.
Did you have or you had?
That we've had.
Oh, you mean as a team? I see. I thought that was a reference to you as a player,
no.
as an athlete.
Oh, I still
Coach
have
Crudden.
speed.
Yeah.
But and Kareem, I think he's taken advantage of being, able to play the entire season. I mean, academically, he worked hard last season, becoming eligible, and took care of his grades over the summer and things like that. And I think he's been excited about being in there from day one, and he's just done a great job. I think he's he's a very strong runner as well as being fast. He's broken a lot of tackles and done a pretty nice job out there. So those three guys have done a great job.
Let me flash back again to this great East Hartford game a couple of weeks ago, and let me bring Sean back in again since we didn't get to him too much in that first segment. Everybody's talking about that kickoff reverse. Eric Haddad took the reverse and brought it back 48 yards down to the 28, and eventually went in for a very important score. And it seemed from what everybody felt, the momentum changed on that one play. Can you recap the play, Sean, and why was that one play so important to this big comeback win on homecoming night at Windham?
Okay. Well, the way the play works is the first guy gets the ball, and he starts running to his left. And Haddad comes running back and takes a handoff and then takes up off the right sideline. And everybody blocks down to their left except for a couple guys who block the guys right, and it makes a big gap for Eric to run through. And the East Hartford wasn't expecting it. They came flying down, and they ran themselves out of the play. We just ran right by.
And how many times did that play worked prior to that?
We had never done it before that. We had done it in practice a couple times, and but it wasn't working right in practice. But we decided to take a gamble, and that's usually how the big games are won: taking gambles. Going for the 2-point conversion instead of the kick, stuff like that. That's how the big games are decided, and that's what we did.
Coach, what's your mindset for a play that hasn't worked in practice in this key time in the game to make that call? Did you think twice, going, this is not the time for this call?
No, I ran it by my assistants. I said, what do you think about the reverse? And there wasn't a lot of response coming back on the headphone. I said, so we'll run it. And no, I think there was a little support to run the reverse. This year, we've done just like what we call basic middle wedge return, and because the offense has been pretty productive. But we thought that was the right timing, and it certainly was. And I've got to think that that's as big a momentum swinger as we've ever had, is that kickoff return. And Kareem did a great job. I was surprised that Kareem handed it to Eric, that he didn't keep it himself. Okay, and that was the key to it, was Kareem handing to someone else. What a guy.
But Kareem, you're not thinking to yourself, I'm going to keep it, because you know if you don't hand it off, you're going to get in trouble, right? What'd you say?
It went through my head to keep it, but
oh, geez, the call goes to hand it off, and you're thinking about keeping it. You'll never hear the end of that. So you're watching the play, Kareem. What are you thinking? Are you thinking the same thing I just mentioned, that this thing hasn't worked in practice? Why are we trying this in the game?
That's what I was thinking when I caught the ball. I was like, oh my God, he's gonna run the wrong way or something. And then once I handed it off, and I saw like everybody was over by me, and then I turned around and I saw him going through the right hole. I knew it was gonna make something big.
I think, Kareem, you were a quarterback at the midget level, right? And that's why I went with the experience of you handing the ball off.
I got the experience.
That must have done it.
Todd, what's it been like on the Windham High campus at the school after not just that one game, but the way you've kind of solidified people behind you? You've got the 7-game winning streak and the excitement about tomorrow's Turkey Day game at Killingley. But is it the kind of deal where you get people coming up to you in the hallways and, hey, great game last week, and just people talking about football?
Yeah, I think people have been a lot more supportive this year. Not just because we're winning, but I think we're playing better and getting a bigger crowd into the stadium, because football's the moneymaker in our school. For
Coach Crudden just took a look like, oh, we do? Is there something else we should hear about that, Coach?
Well, I don't deal with the finances, I know, but I would like to say, I think our athletic director, Mr. Haddad,
who is here, by the way.
Finances, but that wasn't what I was going to say about it. I was going to say what a great job he's done supporting, getting on the airwaves at Windham High, and promoting people to go to the games and things like that. And that was a nice atmosphere at that game, and Mr. Haddad deserves some of that credit, seeing he's getting all that money, I guess. I didn't know about it, Todd.
Well, Mr. Haddad's here, actually helped set this program up, so we appreciate him for that, along the other things we do. James, tell me about being CCC East champions. That was kind of special, especially the way you had to kind of come from behind, if you will, to eventually tie East Hartford with the win. I guess you're flat-out champions, too, but just what's the feeling like?
It's an incredible feeling because we were all JVs on the 1996 team, and I know a lot of us knew people on the 1992 team. It was a great team, but they didn't even win the league. And I don't know, it's like we kind of hold them on a pedestal, and I don't know if we're as good as they were, but I know that we won the league, and it feels great. It's a great feeling.
Sometimes the guys in the pits linemen, the offensive linemen, tend to go anonymous and not get the recognition they deserve. But just tell me what it's like as an offensive guard. You're also a defensive player, as most of these guys, all these guys play both sides, offense and defense. But just the private little rewards that you get, the satisfaction you get when the guys, like Kareem and the like, who get the big gainers, and it's the offensive line that opens the holes.
Yeah, we get satisfaction seeing our running backs make big plays. Like last year we had Eddie Lovely, but like we blocked, but he did a bulk of the work by himself. But this year we feel like that we're contributing more to the yardage that they get and the touchdowns that they get. And
Sean?
There's a big rivalry with each side of the line. We have the same plays, identical plays on different sides, and James and Todd are on the left side. And they're always saying, if you run the ball, coach, run the ball my side, we'll get more yards. And then, David Lambert and Elio Carabello, the other guys on the other side, and they say, yeah, right, anybody who runs behind us is, like touchdowns. So, that competitiveness pushes each other to block a lot farther.
Curvin, what is a Brian Crudden practice like? And by the way, you're the one passing off the money earlier on. You can get your digs in now.
Let me get some money out. Give it to Curvin.
Yeah. Now it's going the other direction. But is it really intense? Is there a lot of yelling going on? Is there lots of backslapping, or what's a typical practice like?
A typical practice is like we get out there, we stretch, do pump plays, and then it goes on from that. It goes on to doing Oklahoma drill. It's where two running backs run the ball, inside linebacker gets to pop them basically, and it's fun practice. From that, we just go on and scrimmage and just try to get better towards the next game.
As the season goes on, do you add more plays of the offense, or is most of your offense in for game one?
No, we added, like, every week we add a new play, and just there's so many plays that I don't even know where to go sometimes, but I look around and see where people are, and then I go there, because there's so many plays. It's like loose mix flank, loose right, loose double, loose. There's so many looses that I don't even know. So I just try to see where Flanky goes, and wherever he goes, I basically go to the opposite side. So there, I just go there and line up. But there's so many plays that I don't even know. I don't even think we run half of them, but they're just in there just for in case.
Did you put new stuff in for the Killingley game? I don't want specific details because there may be one or two Killingley people around, but by the same token, are you putting a few new things in, Brian?
This is the only week we did not put any new offensive plays in, but we had put so much in previously that we didn't put new plays in. We put secret new wrinkles in where we're going to utilize our offensive linemen a little more efficiently. So it's not new plays, but new wrinkles to some of the older plays, we'll say.
That's the only clue Killingley gets for tomorrow's Turkey Day game, 10:15 at Killingley, as the Whips look to wrap up the season 8-2 and maybe keep their postseason hopes alive. We can talk about that as far as what scenario has to take place for Windham to make the playoffs. We're talking this morning with members of the Windham football team and Coach Brian Crudden. Back with more after a break for the news, sports, and the weather on 14 WILI Willimantic. 34 degrees. Good morning, I'm Mike. Members of his Windham High football team have got the 8-game winning streak that they're hoping to bring home from Killingley, the big Turkey Day game tomorrow. But as I've known Coach Crudden for quite a while, I know that is a big song. Not just Jimmy Buffett in general, but that particular song. But apparently you have not educated some members of your football team about the significance of that song and Jimmy Buffett in particular. Coach, are you slipping or what?
Yeah, I'm slipping. I'm getting old. This team is a few individuals, know that I'm a parrot head and that, Buffett's, my favorite singer-songwriter. But as a group, I think it was that 2-game slip at the beginning of the season that really, took away the, Buffett education from this team, But
so Curvin Ocasio, he hears the song and says, what's this?
I know, that's disappointing, isn't it? That's disappointing. That's because, they're always like, reading these lyrics to Big Punisher and DMX and stuff like that, and I'm out of touch now, I'm a dinosaur.
Now, that being said, it's my perception, too, that it's more of your wrestling teams. You've had some great wrestling teams that won state championships, and that's one that you've kind of introduced them to, and they've adopted it. Is it not quite made that transition to football?
Well, the 92 football team took another song, Fins, and we took the Fins cheer. We used to go, Fins to the left, Fins to the right, Feeding Frenzy recorded live at Windham High tonight. But yeah, this group hasn't been educated enough in the ways of Buffett.
Well, we do have a couple of wrestlers though. Here is we've got James Oliver and Sean Planky. Guys, you know the fine music of Jimmy Buffett, thanks to Coach Crudden, don't you?
Oh yeah, we had a setup one time. We were at McDonald's. We came back from the States, and it was like 1 a.m, and then we sang that song. And then one time we were all up at the register, and the lady was right about to ask us what we were wanted, and we were all gonna just start busting out we want cheeseburger in paradise, but none of us had the guts to really shout it out. So.
James, just because the song was recorded before you were born doesn't matter, right? It's still
it's still an American classic, Everyone on the rest of the team loves it. It's a classic.
Kissing up to his coach the day before the big game. Now, that having been said, you have a few other little chants and cheers and stuff you do. Can you guys do that for us this morning?
I think we could do that. You want that right now or a little later?
Right now.
Holy Mark, I got to believe Bob. I'm talking Mr. Haddad now. I think this kind of started originally way back with your track team, right? That kind of chant song? When I was, your hammered assistant, remember back in those days?
The days of
You're
basketball.
Well, you're hammered. What does that mean? You're
not
hammered.
That I mean, he used to. Oh my God! All the work I used to do for Bob Haddad as his assistant was unbelievable. I couldn't take it. After 4 years, I had to graduate.
All right. So before you do this, give me a little background. What brought this on? You say it goes back to track, but when do you do this? You did it. I know you did it after the Big East Hartford win a couple weeks ago.
We did it after the Big East Hartford game. I think my son sang it at Thanksgiving game down at Killingly with Mr. Haddad's PA system. In '96, and we've kind of sang it for the field hockey team this year, who had a great season. We'd sing it right from our practice field to their game field. I think I've sung it for the girls soccer team. So we've kind of spread it around a little bit, and it's quite a melodious song. My God, you want us to do this?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think it originated partially from Doug Torigny and those guys, Bob. A track program going way back.
Track coach.
Are you ready?
I'm ready, man.
Wow. I don't know, with microphones, it's going to be a scary thought. I hate to see what it sounds like.
It's kind of
They're all moving the mics. That's what all this racket you're hearing on the radio is now.
All right.
All right, we're ready. Go ahead.
I don't know, but I've been told. I don't know, but I've been told. Windham whips are good as gold. Windham whips are good as gold. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up in the morning with the rising sun. Up in the morning with the rising sun. Work all day till the job gets done. Work all day till the job gets done. Run, block, hit, all sorts of fun. Run, block, hit, all sorts of fun. That makes Windham number one. That makes Windham number one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Windham! Windham!
You do this after games? I would think that'd be a pump up before the game. You do it like the locker room before the kickoff or whatever?
We don't like to celebrate before games. I'm not one for celebrating before. I'm one for celebrating after. I would hate to do that and not perform well. So that's my feeling on that. Although we have sung it for other teams before their contests.
So guys, somewhere around 12:40 or so tomorrow afternoon, you'll be singing that song again, right?
Definitely.
No doubt.
Right after the win over Killingly. Now, can you explain the situation as far as postseason play is concerned? You've, of course, gone to the postseason twice in the 90s. If you win tomorrow, you're still, at last I saw, number 7 in the playoff rankings. The top 4 go. With some help, you can go. So what approach do you take, Coach, as far as trying to convince these guys that not only we're talking 8-2 and 8-game winning streak, but maybe this isn't our last game of the season?
True, but I'm one for just taking it one game at a time. I know there's plenty of playoff talk. Some people think we're mathematically eliminated. Some don't. I personally don't feel we are. But we haven't talked a lot about it as far as, hey, it being an ultimate, goal and objective for us and a dream. But the main part of all that has to happen is we have to beat Killingly.
Right. And after that, you got Platt playing Maloney, Staples against Trinity Catholic, Stratford against Bunnell. And if Platt, Staples, and Stratford, all good teams ahead of you in the rankings, lose, that puts you in the playoffs, and you're still playing again next week.
True.
So a lot of good teams have to lose for that to happen. But again, your focus now is to finish 8-2 and to beat Killingly. And
right, we've got to do our part, and those other parts could take place because Platt has to play Maloney, which is in intercity in the town of Meriden. Bunnell and Stratford, both being from Stratford, those are those big rival type games where anything can happen. And Trinity Catholic is an excellent FCAC team that's got to play Staples. So those other three parts could take place, I believe.
Well, that being said, let's talk about the Windham Killingly Turkey Day history. Wyndham's been bouncing around over the years. It was Rockville for a while, and it was Manchester back in the 70s and the like. But this has turned out to be a pretty good rivalry. Killingly's had some great teams. They won a state championship in '96, as Gene Blaine, I'm sure, often reminds you of, the assistant principal at Windham, who still got that state championship ring on. That was his team that he coached back in '96, which eventually beat Windham in the playoffs. Windham has gone 5-10 against Killingly in this series that began back in '83, but Windham has also gone 3-3 over the last 6 years, winning 2 of the last 3. Brian, or one of the players, just can talk about the fact that this has developed into a terrific rivalry. It may not be Stratford Bunnell, two crosstown rivals, but it has become a little backyard rivalry here between yourself and Killingly.
Right, and the one thing we enjoy best maybe is when Mr. Blaine starts flashing that championship ring around. It has his team record on there, 12-1, and we like to remind him that we own the one on there, and that's why it's there.
And that was the Turkey Day game.
That was the Turkey Day game.
25-15, yeah.
Right. But for one reason or the other, Killingly has been an excellent football program. We've developed into a very competitive football program. There's been some great matchups. Last year it was probably a big emotional game for Killing with Gene Blaine retiring. Now it's this coach's first year. I'm sure they'd like to go out on a win, and but we have our own reasons for being successful. But there have been some, even some of our losses to Killing. Those were like great, exciting games. They were hard-fought games.
And they've had some great players. Remember, there's one year Dalrymple scored like 4 or 5 touchdowns against you, and LaBelle. They've had some terrific players up there. They won that game last year 21-0 in Blaine's last year. They were about a 500. Were they 4-6 or 6-4?
I think so.
They're somewhere around there this year. It's not quite what they've been in the past.
4-5 right now.
Yeah. So hopefully, 4-6. About
that's right.
About 29 hours or so from now. Now, speaking of that, we had that song, which, by the way, thanks for doing. That was a lot of fun, guys. But other ways to I guess, psych people up and the like, and there's some unusual ways to do that. I would like to hear the story of shaved heads. And Josh Niles, you would be one of those who's got a story about, is it shaving your head? Is that the story? Some kind of bet with your dad?
No, if I make all league or something like that, my dad has to shave his head off.
Oh, it's his head.
Shave his head.
Wow. Yeah, shave his head off. Yeah. Sean, yeah.
In '96, we shaved our heads too. Once
bad luck.
We went to the state playoffs. Yeah, it didn't turn out the way we expected, but yeah, there's a picture that was in the Chronicle the next day, and it said Windham shaved by New Canaan. We all had our heads shaved.
And I've never done that myself, but I mean, more people do that now. Maybe it's the Michael Jordan look or whatever. But what's it like walking around with a shaved head?
Well, at first you think you might look all right, but then once after they shave your head, you realize how many imperfections you have in your head.
Nooks and crannies.
So, luckily, that was before we had the new dress code, so we could wear hats to school. And cover it up after we realized our heads aren't perfectly round.
Cue balls, yeah. And I would also think that November's at the time I would be shaving my head. I want all the warm stuff up there I can get. Well, you guys play some other sports too, and Sean, besides football, you play for this guy, you wrestle for this guy. Is he the same coach in both sports, or is he a different guy?
Well, he's wounded more in wrestling because me and James and Hector Torres, all year long, we're constantly pounding on him because we get to wrestle him head to head. So, we give him, if he says to do so, and we just, take his leg out and just lean on it a couple times, pressure him down.
Equal time for the coach.
That's why their heads have all those imperfections in them.
So James, who wins these? Does he got game?
He got game, but I got better game. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you a little story about the first day of practice.
He's older though.
Coach thought he was gonna take it easy on me on the first day of practice, and we started out, and I had my arms around his stomach, and he wasn't expecting nothing. He was expecting to do a counter move or something. I picked him up like 4 feet in the air, boom, slammed him on the ground. It's one of the great highlights of my high school career.
Now my head has an imperfection in it.
He got me back a couple times after that. But
where would that rate with the East Hartford game?
I have to rate right up there. I don't know.
We
It's like Hulk Hogan over there.
we all share our we share everybody. We tell coaches weaknesses. So one day in practice, Curve is coach is facing the blackboard, writing something on. Curve comes flying out of nowhere, so grabs him, starts trying to take him down. Coach kind of fell on top of Curve, and then we all
over after that.
We all watched, instead.
I
of
had him. I had him, but he
Curve
slipped, and then he ended up on top of me. But I had him.
Well, and maybe James and Sean and Coach Crudden, what's your guys' thoughts about having a wrestler being the governor of Minnesota? And I say that in quotes because we're not talking the same kind of wrestler, are we?
No, we're not.
President.
Big difference between amateur wrestlers and professional wrestlers. And now he is Jesse the Mind Ventura, I guess,
His body's not bad. He's just getting old.
Hey,
Happens to all of us. And we got and Josh, you play basketball and baseball. Don't have to worry about present company here. But what's your favorite sport of the three that you play at Windham?
Football.
Yeah, it's not said because of the coach being 10 feet away from you. Huh?
No, it's because of hitting. Take out the anger before you get in school.
Before you can.
Do you get a lot of anger in school?
Yeah, you don't have to fight. You can just take it out on the field.
So and all these guys play other sports. Then you have Todd
Right.
DiGiovanni here. And Todd, what are your pursuits athletically besides football?
I like to rollerblade and snowboard. I go to Vermont a lot during the winters and snowboard. I used to ski, but snowboard is more fun.
Is there a rollerblader or a snowboard team at Windham?
No, I just go with my friends. Like a few of my friends have rollerblades, and we'll just go rollerblading or snowboarding.
Todd, maybe you could ask Mr. Hanna to take all that money and start a snowboarding team or something like that.
Did you see me in the boombox parade last year, Todd? Because I was trying that rollerblading thing myself, and I didn't fall down. That was progress for a klutz like me.
I didn't get a chance to see the boombox parade. We have our own parade in Columbia. It's pretty big.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Boat parade.
I've never seen it. I've got my own parade to deal with here. Todd DiGiovanni, Josh Niles, James Oliver, Sean Planke, Curvin Ocasio, Kareem Dawson, and Coach Brian Crudden, the Windham football team, playing at Killingly tomorrow, looking to win their 8th straight game, a 10-15 game. And we'll come back and talk more with our guest after a break for the news, sports, weather, and Paul Harvey on 14 WILI, where it's 35 degrees.